Well, hi. Today is Friday, December 20th, 2024. I'm Todd Studer, and this is Morning Coffee. 5 more days until Christmas. We're coming into the last weekend, and another reminder to not just shop local, but also shop in person. There is no better way to spend your last weekend Christmas shopping than going out to some of these small stores and vendors and boutiques and different specialty shops that we have in our area, whether it's in Council Bluffs, elsewhere around Potawatomi County, or if you're reaching out a little bit further around Southwest Iowa. I know that these shop owners would love to see you. And to be honest, many of them depend on this time of year in order to be able to make it going into the next year. So go by, take a look, and at the very least, just let them know that you're happy that they're in business, because, we went through a period not that long ago where we thought every town was going to lose their main street to the big box stores, but we have some very creative and ambitious people who are shop owners who said, you know what? No, we're going to stay in business. We're going to find a new way of doing things. And that's when a lot of these specialty shops started popping up. Things that you'll find there that you can't find anywhere else. There's some of these stores around that cater strictly to local producers. So they have only locally sourced things in their stores. So go visit, shop. Find some unique gifts around the area. And again, I'm thinking about making up a bumper sticker that says shop local, shop in person. And I know that you've been doing it. I've been hearing from some different shop owners, and very thankful for everything that it is that you do. We have a busy show today. We've got a couple of guests that are going to be on. We're going to talk with Kelsie Rollins from Sprout Marketing Solutions. She's going to give you some tips about how to market your business online. And the cool part about this is I actually shot this video earlier and got out of the studio and went over to one of her clients, which would be the Hub Patio, where the Wonder Bowl is. So we were actually recording in front of the Wonder Bowl lanes. So you're going to be able to see that in the background. So that is coming up. Also, last night was the final entrepreneurial meetup with Advanced Southwest Iowa Corporation. We were down at Barley's on the 100 block, and a smaller group last night, but still a lot of fun and a huge benefit. So here's the thing. If you have a small business, if you're an entrepreneur, if you have just an idea about a business, I would highly recommend going to one of these free meetups. We meet at, sometimes it's at Barley, sometimes at Full Fledged, sometimes at different locations. Get a hold of Niki Ferguson with Advanced Southwest Iowa Corporation. Get on her email list, and she will let you know where these are going to be. We would love to see you there and be able to encourage each other. It's not a sales pitch. Nobody's going to be there pitching their wares unless, if somebody asks a specific question, maybe. But that's not the point to it. The point is networking, and it's collaborating, meeting new people. You never know what type of relationship you might find. One of those people that I have met at many of these networking events is Carol Horner, and she is an author. She's here locally. She has a company called Synchronicity, and her book is Spiral of Accountability. She was on a show earlier this week talking more about it, and I encourage you to go to spiralofaccountability.com, pick up a copy of Carol's book, especially if you're a business owner, because this is an opportunity for you to learn how your team and even you as a leader in your business can better communicate with each other. We all know that sometimes we run into some problems and we get things in the way of being able to communicate effectively. Spiral of Accountability is a way to find out exactly what's going on, what direction are you facing, and how can we better communicate with each other. So spiralofaccountability.com is the website. And also, as I said, we have a very, very busy day today on the show. So let's get right to it. On location at the Hub Patio in the Council Bluffs, this is Kelsie Rollins of Sprout Marketing Solutions, and the Hub, one of your clients. So that's why we wanted to come down here. This is just a great atmosphere in here. We got Wonder Bowl behind us. I had actually talked with Brooke well before she started doing this, and she told me that this was coming. I said, oh no, that's a good idea. But this is a great location. We've got pizza, we've got drinks, we've got, what else could we need? I'm not sure.
Not much else. Yeah, it's awesome to be here. This is a great space. Yeah, tons to do in here. parties, corporate parties, birthday parties. It's kind of a space for all ages. And that's what I've really enjoyed about seeing the journey in this place coming together, is that she's created a space that everybody can come and enjoy, right? They've got the craft cocktails, as you can see, nothing like dipping in early on a Wednesday. The food is phenomenal. They're a wonderful client. She's an innovative client. She's someone who is growing along with me, and I'm growing along with her, which is super fun and unique. So I'm happy that we're here today.
Well, this is, anytime that I can get out of my studio, I always enjoy that. So when you brought up the idea of coming down here, I thought, yes, let's get down there and do that. And also I haven't tried their pizza yet, so we're about to find out just how good this is. And also, what did I hear? This is some kind of Christmas tree.
Yes, this is Santa's Rooftop. They just launched their winter drink menu. Yep, you'll have to first sip.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
That sounds about right. Yeah,
I
guess I better do the same.
Do you know what that one is?
No, I didn't look at what this one was called.
Well, it's called a big giant, it looks like a sugar ring that's around it, so yeah.
You can't really go wrong. No, that's fantastic. Yeah, everything here is just very fun, but elevated from what you maybe would expect to find in Council Bluffs. I think that's something that we're sometimes missing in our area, is what's something new and fun we can do that you can go do it in Omaha, but that's quite a jaunt over there, and it's not very cost effective. You can get 6 people on a lane here for $40.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then they have different party packages, of course, that come with the pizza and drinks and stuff like that. So I feel like it's a great place to network and get people together.
Typically, when you are helping someone with their marketing, you're not doing it this way as far as, talking with somebody in person. You're more, what can you do online? What can you do with direct mail? What can you do in a more traditional route? So how is it that what you do there benefits not only the hub, but some of your other clients as well? What are some of the things that work that way?
Yeah, I think what's unique about my background is I actually do have a lot of event planning and execution in my background. So I try to bring that into when I'm working with the clients, hey, what can we do at your location that will bring a little shock and awe, that will bring something different? After COVID, everybody was stuck inside, and there's a lot of people online, and that's where everybody was, and that's great. But now that we're kind of coming out of that, how do we bring people back together and still have that online presence that goes along with it? So what events are we putting out there? How do we talk about them? Are we getting them out on social media? Are they on our website? Have we worked with our networking group like WITA and Advanced Southwest Iowa and the Chamber to help spread the word? So I would say that's the approach that I kind of take, is what kind of things can we do that are unique to your business, that align with your brand and your goals, and kind of spread the word to other people, and bring everybody back together.
Well, I want to ask you some questions, and I know that especially for somebody who maybe hasn't done a lot of online marketing, they haven't done a lot of things with social media, and they haven't done or email campaigns or any of that kind of thing. The first thing that pops into my head, and this is something that I think you would hear often, is, where should I be at? There's so many different choices like social media.
Yeah.
Where should I focus?
I would say it's really important to evaluate where are the people at that you want to talk to, right? So if you're not looking to talk to a younger demographic, or around 30s and younger, maybe your time's not best spent on Instagram. If you don't have a product, or you're more of a service-based company that pours concrete, for example, well, that's kind of a hard sell on Instagram because aesthetically there's not a lot there. So I think it's evaluating where is the audience that you're trying to talk to, and then spending your time on that platform, because as business owners, we kind of do it all. And Brooke is a good example of that. She does it all. And how do we best spend our time, and what platform do we do that on? So I think that is a really important step, is truly just don't skip the evaluation on where are the people at that you want to talk to. Facebook is the most widely used social media platform. It still is. It always will be. TikTok may be going into a ban here, so I do let people know, just be cautious of the time and what you're spending on TikTok. I'm sure they'll find a solution for it. Let's be realistic. It'd be hard to just take it away completely. There's some new platforms out there. There's one called Lemonade, which is powered by TikTok. I love Lemonade. It's kind of like Instagram and TikTok had a baby. It's very interesting. So honestly, just staying out there, doing a little bit of research, following some blog posts, following my social media. I try to give tips and tricks, or what's coming or what's happening. And then just using your time and finding your people and picking that platform and going forward.
What I'm hearing then is don't fall into the trap of thinking there's a one size fits all, and just because this worked for this particular person in this particular industry doesn't necessarily mean it's the right fit for your business.
That's exactly correct. I think it's hard when you see these influencers and all these people on TikTok and you're thinking, oh, I could do that. I could generate $12 million and sell affiliate marketing and do all these things. Well, that's not the case for everyone. Otherwise, everybody would be doing it. So I do try to take the approach of what is the platform that is going to reach your audience, what do you have time for, and how can you focus your time and energy in building that group of people and a good group of listeners and followers that are going to really interact and engage with your content, right? It's not just about posting every day. That's not going to do much for you. It's about the quality, the content you're putting out, and the story behind it.
What about, we hear all the time, people get frustrated with, oh, Facebook just changed their algorithm, or Facebook updated again, and I'm guilty of that. I have said these things. So how much time do you spend and have to spend with the clients when these changes happen that you have to shift and say, okay, we need to pivot just a little bit because they changed how they're doing things?
Yeah, I think what I try to monitor as far as, yes, I'm up to date on Meta has like a newsletter you can sign up for that'll tell you any dramatic changes. But realistically, you know they're going to be tweaking that all the time. So what I try to pay attention to is not so much how did they change the algorithm, it's what do my numbers look like? What does my engagement look like? What posts are my top posts? What's working? How are my reels looking? What's my reach? What are my impressions? When you look at the numbers are going to tell you what's working and what's not working. It's going to tell you, okay, you should do a little more of this because this seemed to hit, right? This over here maybe didn't as much, so maybe we don't spend as much time on this. Or this type of imagery is really resonating and inviting people to interact and engage with us, and this really isn't. So honestly, it's really more of like a numbers game. I try to focus less on, I can't control what Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all these people do for their algorithm, but what I can control is looking at those numbers and then making informed decisions off of them. So if you're using your Meta Business Suite, or you're using Instagram, it also flows into there. Or you, like for Sprout, I have a third-party platform that I use that tells me a lot more than any of those two things would together. I try to look at that, and then we're constantly refining our content. There's really not, no matter what you do, even if your content's really successful, if you're doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over, it at some point will get stagnant. So paying attention to what you're doing, trends, and how you can take those trends and make them your own and be authentic with your voice is going to be what's going to set you apart.
How about some of the new features? Because I know that there's some different things out on many of the different platforms to try and make things not only a little bit easier, but also more effective. And people have additional options that they didn't have before.
Yeah, one of the ones that I'm really excited about, and it kind of aligns with a new product that I'm going to be offering as part of my business, is Reels. So I have been noticing that like it's hard for my clients to find time or be able to do the Reels and execute them. There's a lot of strategy that I put behind that, and I do a lot of trend research, and there's some editing, and it becomes a thing, right? So I've decided to roll out a new program where I will come on location, record Reels for you, one a week. If you want more than that, we can absolutely talk about it. But I will record those, I'll do the trend research, I'll do the editing, and then I'm posting those for you. The best thing about Reels is they span and give you more reach. Even if people who follow or don't follow your page, they're gonna see a reel. That's the cool thing about them, right? They're gonna show up in somebody's feed who might not be a follower yet, and that's what I love about them. One of the cool things that Facebook has launched, and it'll be rolling out this month, is they have given you like a test reel or a test video. So you can record a video in multiple formats and send it out for test. And it will show it to other people who are not your followers to see which video and what message and what style you put out is most effective. It'll give you metrics back on that, and then you can choose the winning reel and then post it to your page. So it's gonna show you what is most effective with a broader category. Not only are you gonna get additional brand recognition from that, you're also gonna figure out what's gonna work best and resonate with my audience. Then you pick, instead of maybe the 3 that you put out there, you pick the 1, and then now you've got it in front of the audience that you need it to be, and hopefully it creates some actionable items off of that.
A lot of times with some of these things you're talking about, and you start getting interaction, and then something's going to pop in that you say, this doesn't really look like it belongs. This looks like somebody who's trying to get something from me, and it seems like innocent enough because they're getting better at it.
Yeah.
However, scams are an issue out there, and there's some really smart people that need to find some things to do with their time in a more productive way than trying to just steal people's money.
Yes, scams has been on the rise. It has been for a long time. The more people that are on social media, the more people that are online, the more scammers there's going to be, and it's super unfortunate. So one tip that I like to share with a lot of my clients and users is you have the ability to only show your content to people within the United States, and to be completely transparent, like I don't know if this is the correct metric, but I'm going to guess around 70% of hackers and people who are scamming are outside of the United States. So I really urge people, and I'm going to do a blog post about this, of how to do this, to change your settings and make sure that you're only showing content and allowing comments and commentary from people who are within the United States. I've done that on quite a few of my clients' different platforms when they're running giveaways or big product sales, anything that's going to gain a lot of traction, which is what we hope for in marketing all the time. But we don't want those scammers, because unfortunately, people close to me, even my mom the other day was, oh, Trish, you're a winner of this or that. And they're getting good. And it's hard to tell whether they're a scammer or not. So I urge business owners to do these things to protect your audience and your clients so that this is less likely to happen. So I think that's one of my main tips. And then if it looks, for the content users of the world, for the people that are just scrolling, if it looks fishy, and they ask you for your card number or your social security number, please don't give it to them. It probably is. Too good to be true is a real thing.
I have the philosophy of, if somebody sends me a link, and usually it's in an email, and say there's some kind of problem, I'll get out of that. I'll go directly to the website that I typed in, not a link that they're sending me to, and then I'm going to go see what I can find that direction, because it's not, every once in a while I'll get something like you said, they're getting clever. Things are looking really more and more realistic, but they're basing it off a numbers game. They're just trying to, how many can we hit? What is going to be our return on this?
Right.
Me being smart about it doesn't really affect them, because they're blanketing it everywhere, and it's frustrating, but it's reality.
Right.
And this is where we're at. And you can go back however many years, there's always, anytime that something good is happening, there's something bad trying to work its way into it. So you just have to deal with it.
You do. And I think, one of the main things that's generating this is, hashtags. So hashtags generate, those are commonly searched terms. I would think of hashtags like the keywords of Google, if you will, right? If somebody's on Facebook searching for things to do in Council Bluffs this weekend, or, what have you, if you have that relevant hashtag somewhere in your content, you're going to get pinged, which is great. But it also means everybody else can find things too. So I don't tell people, hey, don't stop using hashtags. That's not a solution. We need to use those. But, how can we be more cautious? Things that I would tell users that are, the people that are absorbing this content is, if you see something that looks fishy, like they're stealing people's profile picture, they're taking a couple, 5, 10 pictures, and they're building another profile that looks like them, go to the profile of the actual business itself, make sure you're on the right one, check how many users they have, followers, make sure you're there, and then message them directly. So if you're thinking, hey, I don't know if I actually won this, or this looks sketchy, or you think you might have gotten scammed, reach out to that business directly.
Yeah, mine are usually what looks to be a 20-year-old young lady from Singapore, commenting underneath some post that I made, telling me that she's been trying to friend me and it hasn't been working. Can I please do it to her? And then, or find me on WhatsApp, or they're trying to get you off the platform just as quickly as they can. And that, to me, that's a huge red flag.
Yeah, absolutely. Be cautious, and especially during the holiday season, all of that is even more elevated. I love the giveaway. I think giveaways bring more engagement, and usually there's not a lot of hard marketing dollars out of pocket when you're doing a giveaway, which is super nice. So I think it's something that the businesses should consider, but it is going to inherently bring more scammers. So just make sure you're educating, as a business owner who's posting in social, make sure you're educating your audience, like, hey, we will let you know if you win. We will reach out to you directly. We will do a live video announcing, just those kind of things that help protect them. You can't protect everyone, but you can do the best you can.
As we are recording this, we're a week away from Christmas.
Yes.
And for most retail, and such as the hub where we're at right now, Christmas is a big time.
Yeah.
After that, we're going to move into January, where everybody traditionally has seen a slowdown. Does that change your approach when it comes to social media marketing, and where it is that you're targeting?
So what I would tell you is, A blog post that I just read said that 35% of people will continue to shop in January, which is wild. But I would assume a lot of that is gift cards, right? People who are redeeming those. So what I would focus on is not so much running a bunch of specials in January, because you've already run specials in the holiday season. You don't want to be able to have people stack those discounts, right? If you're a business owner.
That makes sense. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. That makes sense.
I would be cautious of how many specials and what you're running in January, because you're already going to have that revenue coming in inherently anyway. The other thing I would tell you is that, people are going to shop at all times, but maybe focus in a little bit more on what is unique to you during that time. What things is your business doing, or what services does your business offer that is unique compared to other people? Because there's just been a lot of noise, right? So continuing to reaffirm who you are and what you're doing, and kind of like being a little bit of a disruptor in that time would be really good. But yeah, I would just tell people, the main advice would be, don't feel like you need to run a bunch of extra things. Let the people who have now purchased and spent the money to give their gifts and gift cards, let them come and use them, and focus on the upsell maybe. Hey, you came in for bowling for an hour. Why don't you also try our new menu of these pizzas? There are s'mores dessert pizza, pepperoni pizza. I love their pizza here. But, as a business owner, I would focus on more like, what is the upsell opportunity here then when they do come in?
Is there anything that we want to make sure that we get out for this time of year for this particular visit that you're giving us on our show? By the way, thank you so much for being a part of this and for passing out this information, because there's a lot of small business owners, and it's also, a lot of this can also count towards nonprofits of what you're talking about too, that we have a good reach with those too. So thank you for that. But is there anything else for this particular episode that we want to make sure that people know?
I would just say, be cognizant of the time that you're spending on social media. Be reviewing your metrics. Again, being a small business owner means you're usually wearing a lot of hats. I'm sure you can attest to that as well. Yeah. So, monitor your numbers, see what's working and what is not working. Do I think that Facebook and Instagram and TikTok give us all the tools we need to make it easy? Not necessarily, but there's enough, even if you don't know too much, to be able to get in there and see what's working and not working, and refine your content strategy a little bit. Don't, waste your time posting a message every day that's falling on deaf ears, if you will. So that's either, and obviously this all spans across nonprofits. I'm on a nonprofit board in Underwood called UMBA. We do a lot of community events and work as well. I've done a lot of nonprofit marketing as well. So really, I do feel like this spans across, is continuing to keep your brand relevant, focusing in on what you do well and what you do differently, and what is the value proposition for your clients and who you're trying to reach. Why should they follow you? Why should they look at your content? What are you giving them that nobody else could give them? So I think focusing in on those things really helps you key in and identify what message you have that makes your business unique, that would want them to become a follower, that it makes them feel like, okay, Todd's got something to say. His talks are great. I always learn something when I watch him. That's what we're trying to provide people. And I think if you do that, you'll continue to grow.
Sprout Marketing Solutions. You can see the email address right here. Go there, set up a meeting with Kelsie, and meet her and her team and find out everything that she can do for your business or nonprofit. I know that you'll work with them too. Yeah. So either way, she's a great resource that we have here locally. All right, we need to try this pizza.
Let's try the pizza. Maybe a little.
Here we go.
Little cheers action.
Yeah, this is. There's a couple of British guys that try American food that do that all the time.
Do they?
Yeah. Yep, good pizza. Mm-hmm. It's good pizza. All right, thank you so much.
An additional thank you to the staff at the Hub Patio. Brought us the pizza, brought us the drinks. You were very, very welcoming and accommodating, and really made us feel at home. So thank you so much for that. GT Motors in Council Bluffs, they're on the 20th block of Broadway, and you can recognize them this time of year because they have a big giant Christmas tree up on their awning. And if you are in the market for a used car, stop in, take a look at what the team at GT Motors has, and find out whether it's anything that they can help you get into. When we had Garrett on the show, he was talking about he doesn't like anybody that needs a car to come onto his lot without having the opportunity to leave with one. They do financing right there on site. So, they also work with several lenders as well. So there's going to be an option there for you. So stop over at GT Motors in Council Bluffs, see what they have, and let Garrett and his team go to work for you. Well, as I mentioned before, last night I was at an entrepreneurial meetup at Barley's in Council Bluffs. This is Niki Ferguson.
Hi, Todd.
She is the manager of entrepreneurial development with Advanced Southwest Iowa Corporation. We are at the final entrepreneurial meetup.
We are.
Of 2024.
Which is crazy.
Holy smokes. I mean, I'm not sure. Time has gone into just an accelerated pace here lately. I don't know if I'm the only one that feels it, but it's been a great year. You've scheduled a lot of these. We're at Barley's right now.
We are, and it's beautiful in here.
Oh, they really did a great job. Look, great job of decorating here. But just a few of the highlights as you think back over the course of the year about putting these entrepreneurial meetups together. I know we've had a lot of them. We've had over at Full Fledged.
Yep.
I think this is the first one we've had here for a while.
I think there was one other one that's one or two maybe this year at Barley's, but it was the beginning of the year. It was time to come back. So
time to come back.
For sure.
But when you're putting one of these things together, what do you hope comes from it?
Honestly, I've always said my favorite thing from these, I'm constantly meeting with startups and small businesses, and they have their needs, and I'm finding connections of who they need to talk to or the resources, whatever it is. But out of these, there are collaborations and relationships and things that I would have never seen coming, like a baker and a tech startup. I mean, I'm just throwing that out there.
Right.
But people that you don't see any common thread between what they're doing, that will have that kind of aha moment and just serendipitous kind of relationships and friendships and business relationships. That's my favorite thing. And if one of those comes out of each one of these, it's a win. And I mean, that's been my favorite part for sure.
And what type of people can come down and be a part of these? Because they're coming up, they'll be again in January.
Yep.
I'm not sure about January, but they're
Hopefully
coming
January.
up again.
Yeah.
So
honestly, anybody. Obviously, we serve Potawatomi County. That said, we have folks that come across the river. We have folks from the entire area. If you're a small business owner, you have a startup. If you have an idea or like bucket list, I want to start my own company, or I've got this idea, you belong here. Come. I mean, if you work for a small business, I don't care. If you're a service provider and you help small businesses, come. Like, everybody's welcome, and there's usually a free drink ticket.
Yeah, it's just a chance to network.
Yes.
We're not here selling people.
No.
You're not going to get
no membership, no fees.
You're not going to get a hard sales pitch.
No.
While you're here, even from the folks that attend.
Right.
We're not here to do that.
No one's bringing their MLM and like.
Right. No.
Yeah, it's not like that at all. That was my absolute stipulation when we started these. This is not that. No
all right. So
pitches.
if somebody wants to get on your email list when you announce one of these things, where do they find you? Where can they get that information?
We do have a meetup channel. Obviously, if you go to meetup and search CB and entrepreneurship, we're on there. But you can also get on advancedsouthwestiowa.com. There is a startup tab. My email's there. Otherwise, you can just email me. And Ferguson at selectgreateromaha.com. Probably easier to go to the website or Facebook or Instagram. Find us. You'll find me. Like, I monitor all those. So not well all the time, but that is me.
Well, you've been a huge, huge help to everything that I have done. Even in decisions that I've made that turned out to not be the right decision, you've always been supportive.
Wow.
So I'm very grateful for everything that you've done, that Advanced Southwest Iowa has done, that the people that I've met at these events have done.
Awesome.
I'm grateful for all of it.
And we're grateful for you and what you do. And again, I mentioned it earlier, but what you did on Small Business Saturday, kind of piggybacking on the goals that we have for Celebrate Small, and I know the Chamber, and so many people want to really push people to shop small and shop local, and you being out and about, boots on the ground, chatting with those people, I mean, that was awesome. I commend you. Thank you for all you do for not only the nonprofits, but the small businesses, the other entrepreneurs, being that mentor for folks. Like, you're awesome.
Well,
thank you.
Thank you. That's I seem to say this a lot to people, that it's a very high compliment, but it is. I mean, hearing that from somebody in your organization is it's very important to me. And if you haven't seen any of those videos that Niki's talking about, go back. It was the day, Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Yeah, it wasn't Black Friday. It was that Saturday.
Small Business Saturday.
Small Business Saturday, and you can find those videos where we went around and talked with different folks. So, thank you so much.
Thank you for
Merry
getting
Christmas,
me.
Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
And I'm looking forward to a great 2025. And also, we'll talk about the coworker space next time. but that's still in the works.
It's got to be 2025.
I've spoken many times on the show about how supportive and encouraging folks around the area have been over the past year with me, and Niki Ferguson is one of them. She has been just constantly, anytime that I might have been feeling a little bit down about how things were going, just giving me a shot of adrenaline and getting me out and about and say, come on out to these meetings and we're going to get you going again. And that's exactly what has happened. And the show is taking off. We're adding to new platforms. We're going to be bringing on additional shows to reach out to other areas. All of that is coming. And I'm very, very grateful for everything that all of you have done to support what it is that we're doing with Les Hills Media and Podcast. That's going to wrap up this show and this week. An abbreviated week next week. Be no show on Christmas Day, but we will have a show for you Christmas Eve and the day after. So looking forward to that. Also looking forward to one final weekend of Christmas shopping. My name's Todd Studer. We'll see you again Monday morning.